We got to move on and talk about Sony because today was the big Sony conference.
Yep. So when you get yours, are you gonna put yours in your house, Avengers Tower style, or Tony Stark's house style?
Who could put this thing vertically? I mean, you'd have to have no entertainment system whatsoever. You're just putting
I
it
have vaulted ceilings.
right, but you have to just put it on the floor. Like you can't just put it inside something. Oh, you want to talk about how it looks first before we get into all the games?
let's
Okay.
tackle the looks of it because that's the most inconsequential part of
Sure.
this.
Because it doesn't matter at
Because
all.
it doesn't matter at all. That's
Not
the,
even
that's
a
the
little
most
bit?
frustrating thing about this is
know.
somebody like a whole team of people spent a crap ton of time
Right.
crafting this design.
Each
and
curve.
it doesn't matter.
Right.
Like they're gonna sell just as many of these if it was just a rectangle.
Yes.
It looks like a skyscraper from a Rock movie.
Yeah,
Like I fully expect the Rock to be climbing it.
Yeah.
I mean, and some people are gonna like the aesthetic, sure, but it's so specific of an aesthetic, and it just doesn't fit well with everything else.
Anything else, you mean?
Right. It's which is a choice on their part as well.
Except, like Wombat said, it would look great in Avengers Tower or Tony Stark's house. It would look perfect. You wouldn't even. It's just like it was built-in, basically.
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't like that it's white. And
Yeah,
black.
the two-tone.
It
Like
looks-
I know when the controller came out, a lot of people didn't like the two-tone on the controller either. That
Right.
should have given us foresight that this was going to happen.
But like you
they're
say,
going to come
Ship,
out with a bunch of different versions of this.
yeah, it doesn't really matter what it looks like, and I don't really.
No,
care.
it
There'll
doesn't.
be
It's
also. I'm
just-
sure they're gonna have the third-party stickers to put over the white portion to make it look, camouflage.
I want to see
or-
the third-party just rectangular box that sits over the whole thing. You just put it right down over top of it.
right on top. Nice.
Yeah, or you just slide it in sideways. and
Remember
you're good
when
to
the
go.
Xbox 360 had the face plates?
Sure,
The interchangeable face plates?
that was a fun idea. It was a dumb idea, but it was
Right.
a fun idea. You get them as pre-order bonuses. I
Yep.
got one. I got a Viva Pinata one around here, and
I had a whole bunch. I had like a
Sure.
weird orange one.
I had the Gears of War like limited edition one that I got at some event, and it was worth like a couple $100. And instead of selling it, I just held on to it, and then I wind up just throwing it out. Probably, I don't even know. Maybe I
figure
gave. I
out-
don't even know. Who knows?
Yeah,
Who
like-
fucking knows what happened to it?
well, you started like after like you got one, and you were like, okay, I'll put this Viva Pinata one on there. That's fun. I don't know what to do with this one I just took off of it. Like,
Right.
what do I do with this?
I need a holder.
then- But then once you started like accumulating these things, like I probably had 5 or 6 ish, maybe more at some point. And like sometimes like games would send me like you'd get like multiple ones of the same game for whatever reason. It's like I can't do anything with these.
Well,
Right.
it's a good thing they stopped doing that
Yeah,
12
that's-
years ago.
Exactly. Now we have this.
Yep.
I'm gonna lay it on the side. I think if it fits, it looks pretty tall. Like if I look
It
at this
looks
thing,
like it might be pretty big.
So Polyobject in the chat wrote, "If Ship doesn't want to collect them, you know it's worthless."
it is. Like if you look at this thing, it's about
It's
somewhere
about
between
3 controllers high.
it's about 13 or 14 inches tall or wide, depending on how you're going to put it, which is pretty big. And then you have to have the stand on it because it sits on the side with the disk drive. If you buy the disk drive version, there's the diskless version as well, the all digital version.
It's very
Um,
strange. I can't believe I'm shocked there are 2 SKUs. I guess I shouldn't be. I don't know.
No, I'm not shocked because that seems to think that they think they're a little bit high on the one with the drive.
But how much savings could there be on the driveless one?
$50 probably.
I think it'll be in that range.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
It's going to be the difference between $4.99 and $5.49.
could be.
Yeah, that's my guess.
Yeah, and Xbox is coming in with supposedly 2 SKUs as well, right?
But then again, the disk drive pays for itself when you buy 3 $15 games on disc. That'll never get that cheap digitally.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to this version. I just wish they would have put a disc slot on the other side of it so this thing was symmetric. Just,
Two
just 2 disc drives. Yes.
dual disc drives.
Yeah,
Because why the fuck not?
Right. It's a game changer. Just
Right. Why? Yeah,
Yeah.
you have 2 games you like to play. Don't have to get up. Just
don't have to get up.
keep them right in there.
It makes sense to me. They used to have it on,
I'm not against that idea now that you say it.
right. Just throw me another disc drive on that side. I'll
Like
be good with it.
an old school disc changer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pioneer. Remember those Pioneer disc
Mhm.
changers?
I had the Iowa one.
Yeah,
That was 100 disc changer.
I remember that one.
That one was awesome, except that it always got jammed up, and then
Yeah.
I had to take 100 discs out of it.
Was it a big carousel?
No,
No,
it was like a magazine.
It was this was a vertical tower.
Tower.
Oh.
Tower.
It was a
okay.
it was a vertical tower, and you in the disc drive it was a tray drive, and you just stuck CD after CD in it until it had a little elevator,
oh,
and then stuck them
boy.
in there. But then when something got jammed up, you had to take the entire thing apart and take all your CDs out.
Nice.
It was fantastic though. I loved that thing. They
Um,
should have done that here. Give me 100 discs that I can stick in this thing.
Totally.
I remember I had the 5-disc carousel, and I would put 5 discs in, and you would set it to random, and it would play one song, and then it go to play the next song because you had it set to random, like an idiot, like you thought that was something special.
Imagine doing that, but with 100 CDs.
No.
So yeah, it doesn't matter what this thing looks like. That's the frustrating part about it is you're gonna sell just as many of these things no matter
Right.
what it looks like.
At Burgundy Masks, Musk wrote in and says, "Do you think they redesigned the PS5 after seeing what the new Xbox was going to look like? It seems like somebody high up wanted to make sure the PS5 looked even more ridiculous." He's saying, "Do you think they had some design and they
No,
saw
I
the
think
Xbox
they
look
had
like
the
a
design.
Yeah.
No, they were doing their thing, and it is what it is.
All right. Should we talk about the games? Because that's.
Yeah,
let's
you
talk-
mean the
let's
thing
talk
that
about the
actually
good
would
stuff.
make that matters?
Yeah.
I'm just looking at my tip jar. I see a couple of coins in the tip jar. Ship too. Ship's got a few.
Hey,
Good.
Wombat's got many more.
I feel like Wombat's just tipping us.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that didn't happen.
The only thing I'm tipping is cows.
All right. So first up, they showed Spider-Man.
Yes, Miles Morales.
Yes.
This feels like it's similar.
Push.
I'm
Okay.
gonna push
We're
that.
back. We're back.
We're
No
back.
problem.
Okay. It feels like, or it seems like this is probably one of these smaller scope games, just like the infamous games they made and the Uncharted game that they made.
Right. What was the Uncharted game? I played that. It was
That was the one with the 2 women.
Lost Treasure or something.
Lost something. They lost something.
It was very good. I played
It was
it.
in a jungle. Yeah, it was great. You drove the Jeep around, which I'm sure this is going to be great as well. But I just can't. I can't imagine that it's a whole new Spider-Man game.
It's not called Spider-Man 2 for a reason.
Yes.
Right, and it very clearly is the same engine, which of course it is. Like they spent all that time making that engine.
And again, like you said, there's nothing wrong with that. If it's another 25 hours of Spider-Man with a new story and it's just as interesting and engaging, then whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I'm excited to play it. I want more information about what exactly it is.
And it's
I
going to be
believe you
available.
play
Don't you
as,
think it's going to be available on PS4 too?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I
Like,
I
why
don't
would?
know. I don't know. That it could be a PS5 exclusive because that might push sales.
They would need to have that many PS5s available holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to sell 5 million copies of this game, then it's got to come out on the PS4 this year.
Yeah.
If they
I
want to
don't know.
sell,
I could see it
500,000
going. I could see it
copies,
going anyway. Like, how many copies of this do they need to sell?
as many as they can.
But it just
A
depends on what their
need is
strategy
sort of a
is.
weird term. They
just
want to
depends on
sell as many as possible.
Yeah, but do they want to help it sell PS5s, or do they just want to sell as many Spider-Man games?
Do you
as they
think
can?
they're going to need help selling PS5s?
No, I think they're just going to want to sell as many copies of the game as possible.
Yeah, I think it's backwards. I don't think this game is gonna. I don't think PS5s are a tough sell. Like they're gonna sell out the minute that they're available for pre-order. It's gonna be up and it's gonna be out in about 5 minutes.
Mhm.
So they don't need Spider-Man to sell PS5s. They need PS5s to sell Spider-Man. But if there's not enough PS5s to sell enough Spider-Man, then they need it on the PS4 to sell more Spider-Man.
This is some weird math. I don't know. I don't know about
I
the
think-
spider
I
math.
think-
Spider math.
I have
Spider-Man.
nothing to back this. I think they could do a tiered launch with it, and launch it first on PS5, and then
And then the
But why not
PS4
just
one?
say like, oh, when you get the PS5 version, you get
that sounds a
what-
little bit
what
Xboxy.
Xboxes?
That
Yeah.
sounds a little bit Xboxy there.
might work.
It might work.
All right, so that, I mean, there was not much to see. So
Puddles look great.
so much better on PS5. Finally, a
that's
console that
That's
can
just
make
one
puddles.
game of 15. So what's next?
Next was Gran Turismo 7.
That had cars in it.
My notes are all driving games look great now.
Yeah, that's the problem with that. Like, you show that, especially in a 1080p, 30 frames per second stream, and it just looks like every car game. Like, it's just whether or not you are into the framing of Gran Turismo or not.
Correct. Their gameplay loop, which I'm not, unless they've changed it, I'm not a big fan of that.
Mm-hmm.
Then they showed Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
I like Ratchet and Clank games.
Yes, it looked
I'd
pretty
like to
good.
play more Ratchet and Clank games.
With
So
a
here's
female.
another
Yeah, good
one.
news.
Yeah.
It's coming.
It
The
looks-
last one, the last one they made for the PS4 was great. That's all. Yeah. I finished that.
This one looked really nice too. Like,
Yeah.
it was one of the visual showcases where it truly seemed like that was a PS5 game.
I need to go back and watch like a direct
Until it comes
feed.
out on the PlayStation 4.
No,
I
it
know.
could very well, but it seemed like that one was at least visually, in the amount of stuff that was going on, it seemed like okay, get out next gen.
Yeah, it's I guess the selling point is you're jumping between worlds now, and they say like there's no loading times anymore or something when you going between. I don't know. It could be just like a gimmick. Next, they showed a game called Project Athia, and my notes say dragon and girl jumping.
Is that one of those games? There's a lot of PlayStation games where it's like here's a big world and here's a girl that's doing something in it. A Last of Us game.
Right.
That's all I see. It's like, oh look, these games have done really well. So here's another one.
There's another game called Stray coming out, which is a cat game. Looks like you're a
Yes.
cat in the game.
Mhm.
Ty was very excited about that.
The cat had a backpack on it.
It had
It
some
looked like
something.
Death Stranding with a cat.
Okay.
It had something, maybe like some sort of computer interface, perhaps.
Cat standing.
Right. Let's see. That said coming out 2022. Then they showed a video letting us know that it has Blu-ray 4K, and showed off the controller and the fact that the controller has a microphone and a speaker now, which is good. Something we've been
Sure.
asking for. Then they showed a game called Returnal, which I wrote Groundhog Day times Mass Effect.
It seems like resetting the day is like a new
Thing.
becoming a new thing. Yeah.
It's a new genre.
They showed 2 games like that, and there were at least 2 games that came out like that last year.
It's a
So,
roguelike.
Yeah, I've had enough of those. I'm done with that subgenre already of day reset.
You haven't even played them.
I know, and I'm done with it. So that shows how interested I am in it.
Right. Okay. Then they showed Sackboy's Big Adventure. Sackboy's back.
Yeah, Little Big Planet, but with
They made the game for you this time.
it's everything that I said they should do when they released the first Little Big Planet, and I got yelled at by all of our show listeners why do you want them to make a game where it's just the game? Making the game is the whole point. That's what all people want to do. Like, no one wants to do that.
Right. So this
I
is
want
instead.
to play games that have already been made.
Right. Instead, this is a 4-player platformer.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have It doesn't have any of the
I don't think
creative
so.
stuff? Okay.
Because it's not called Little Big Planet. It's called
Yeah.
Sackboy's Big Sack.
Oh, okay. I I will be honest, when I saw Sackboy, my eyes kind of glazed over because those games don't appeal to me. They should, but they don't because I don't like the controls in those games.
Though it has that weird depth control.
It's
where
got
you
that,
move
and everything
backwards.
just
Yes.
has always felt kind of floaty and weird in those games. Not precise.
Because that game was never designed to be played; it was designed to be built.
Okay, well, I'll give this a shot. This is a perfect example of something like I would have loved to have been able to play this game immediately after a press conference.
Right. Maybe like there's a special E3 like press list and they're getting all the stuff like sent to their house. Probably not. All right. What else we got here on this Sony thing? Okay, then they showed Destruction All Stars, which looks like a competitive team vehicle.
Hero
Vehicle game, and you can actually get out of the car and do things too. It looked pretty cool, actually. I gotta admit, I was interested in that. Then they showed a game called Kena Bridge of Spirits. I wrote my notes. My notes say Ty likes the small black things.
Yes, this is the girl with the little fuzzy tribbles or whatever, right?
Right.
This one looked cool to me. It looked a little cameo-esque.
Okay.
Platformer adventure Zelda type of 3D Zelda type of thing with Pikmin.
Yeah, it looked cute. It looked like did I have a date on that one? No, it looked like they didn't. A lot of these games with all these like press conferences, I'm pay attention more to what they don't say and what they don't show. So, like when the Spider-Man, they don't say exclusively on PS5, and they don't say like an all new, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Reading between the lines. Next, they showed a game called Goodbye Volcano High.
That is the one where honestly, like I glanced away and it glanced back and had to make sure the PlayStation logo was still on my stream.
That's like an animated thing, right?
To confirm that I was still watching the PlayStation press event.
My notes say life is strange with dinosaurs.
Sure.
That was a weird one to have in this press conference.
I don't know. Half these games we're not going to see for another 3 years. Some of them we may never see at all.
This one said 2021. A lot of them had dates on it, but that doesn't really mean much.
That doesn't mean anything.
That's a game you're going to show as part of your like big next gen console.
There are people that's what they're looking for.
I know.
Just because it doesn't interest you, stop
but
belittling people.
It doesn't show anything like, hey, this is the next gen.
No, it doesn't.
Meanwhile, our tip jar is emptied, Wombat. Wombat and my tip jar emptied, and Shipwreck has like 3 coins in his.
Well, what can you do?
I don't know. Tip
Maybe
more.
I lost all my money.
No, I don't think that happened. I worked so hard on those tip jars.
Somebody forgot that they started the show with GTA 5. How could we forget?
That's right.
Yeah.
I did forget that. 'Cause I was a little late, actually.
It's funny. Every time I see a clip of the Grand Theft Auto online and they make it look so cool in those trailers, and I say to myself, why aren't I playing this? I want to do a bank heist. And then I think about it for like 5 seconds, and I'm like, no.
Why? Why no?
Because it's never going to be as much fun as they show in those trailers, where it's all glossy and moving fast. Right. And everyone's working together, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
It's going to be people cursing you out because you didn't stand in the right spot when you opened the vault.
And me being called, racial slurs for a race that I'm probably not.
Right.
That was a little bit like, obviously that's a huge game, and it's very popular. Still a weird one to open up your next gen press event with, right? That, hey, yes, we've got Netflix on ours too, is basically what that equates to. You can play Skyrim.
Right. Well, it was free. They had some offer where GTA was free with, I don't know.
Okay.
PS5
I missed that part.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. GTA Online is free with PS5, or I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, then they showed, hold on, we're back to, Oddworld Soulstorm. Which,
that one surprised me.
Yeah, it's really dark. Like, I don't I guess the game's always had a dark side to it.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
they're
for
all
sure.
dark games.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of the game.
Yeah. 'cause
What
he's a
surprised me
slave
about
and
it was that it
kinda
was
dark.
just it was the 2D like old Oddworld style. Like I didn't know that they were going to go back to the original type of game that was.
Yeah, it looked pretty crazy actually. It looked pretty intense. CLC Wolf in the chat said it seemed like Oddworld's Lemmings. Yeah, I agree.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what Oddworld, at a smaller scale,
Right.
what Oddworld, the original Oddworld was like.
It's the evolution of Oddworld. Okay, then they showed Ghostwired Tokyo, which is a first-person game, but it's not really a shooter because you're using like powers, I guess. You remember that one? You don't remember that one?
I do remember that one, but Dashel was looking over my shoulder throughout the press conference, so anytime something like that came up, I just listened to it and did not watch it. Look freaky. I saw the school girl without a head.
Yeah, it definitely was freaky looking, but I'm interested in that for sure. Then they showed the new Super Brothers game called Jet the Far Shore. I really like the art design on that one. I thought it was one of the best, had the best art design of any of the games that they showed, probably. That was like the minimalist. You have no idea what type of game it is looking at it, but it's minimalist science fiction something. But that got my attention. That's coming out this year. Then they showed Godfall, which was like a third-person action game. Ty said he liked that, but it looked sort of generic a little bit. But Ty was into it. That's the one they played the rock music too.
That one's they've shown before. That one was shown before.
It was? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then they showed a game called Solar Ash, and my notes say Upside Down 2021. So, do you remember that one?
Yeah, it looked a little bit. That was the Annapurna game, right?
Could be.
I think that was the one that had a slight Gravity Rush vibe to it.
Yes, correct. Then they showed Hitman 3.
Yes.
Which looks like more Hitman.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize the last game was Hitman 2. Like
that's what I was trying to.
What's happening with these numbers?
I don't know. I was trying to figure out what that was.
Right. My notes say
the
Hitman
second
3.
third
What are
Hitman
numbers?
Game? Yeah.
January 2021.
Great.
So this is Hitman 3 number 2 though, right? We've already had a Hitman 3 in the past.
Have we had Hitman 3?
Yes, Hitman 3 was an Xbox game.
Yes, this is the second Hitman 3.
Okay.
Because there's been a second Hitman and a second Hitman 2.
I didn't realize we were on Hitman 2 for the second time.
Yeah, Hitman 2 for the second time is excellent. That's the one with the cool beach house level.
Yeah, I don't think I ever knew that it had a like I thought that one was like season 2 or something.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's Hitman 2. Okay. Hitman 2 has a second season though. So there is Hitman 2 season 2.
Anyway, let's move on because it's too confusing. I don't know what's happening. Then they showed Astro's Playroom, which looks like a sequel to Astrobot, the VR.
Now, that was a VR game though, wasn't it?
It was, but maybe this is not a VR game.
That was what I was wondering.
I think I saw somewhere that this may be a pack-in game that is meant to highlight the controller, like all that makes a lot of sense going in the controller.
Because without VR, I've played Astrobot. Without VR, it's just like a very simple platformer. The VR is what makes it above and beyond. The whole thing is like you're platforming sort of like over your shoulder and behind you and stuff. So, okay, that's something. Then they showed a game called Little Devil Inside.
Yes.
That game also I wrote amazing art style. That looked really, really good.
That looked, that art style, I don't even know how to describe it. It's an art style that you've seen in like animated movies before, but not in games.
Right.
And it it had a lot more action going on than what's typical when you see those type of art styles. It didn't just look like your, I don't know, kind of artsy indie game. It actually looked like a third person action game. I That was what I was most excited to hear more about, was that game.
Then they showed Island of Bug Snacks. Or is this called Bug Snacks? I don't know. I wrote down Island of Bug Snacks from Octodad, and that's coming out 2020. That was the game where the characters are eating things, and then they grow, like they eat a strawberry, and then their hand turns into a strawberry.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I'm like, this looks a little. I thought it looked like Viva Pinata at first.
Right. Yes.
Good.
Yeah, I didn't say bad. I just said it looked like Viva Pinata.
We need Viva Pinata, please. That looks like a game. Yeah, like kids are gonna love it.
It does look like a game. Good work.
It does. It looks like a game.
Octodad was great. I finished that, so I'm looking forward to checking that out. Then they showed Demon Soul, which is a remaster. Was that the first Dark Souls?
That's the first one. That's the Atlas one.
Gotcha. People are very excited about that. Then, not us though. Other people's. Then they showed a game called Deathloop, which is another Groundhog Day type situation. I think this was their tagline: rival assassins hunting in a time loop.
That's from the makers of Dishonored 1 and 2.
Okay, yes.
That's a
It
Bethesda
looked like
game.
it. It looked like
It's a Bethesda game.
Arcane.
Yes.
Then they showed Resident Evil 8. Or is it
That
called
game looked-
Village, or is it Resident
Village,
Evil 8?
yeah. Resident Evil 8 Village.
Got it. They're very.
And
they're
that
very-
game
I think you
looked-
can make the VIII into the VILL
Oh.
Village.
Yeah. I like that game. I thought it looked good.
Yep.
I'm sure it's all pre-rendered. Who cares? But it was the only game where people looked next gen that I think they showed today.
Then they showed a game called Pragmata. And my notes say Astronaut Cat 2022. That's a Capcom one? I think that was Capcom. But that was with, it looked really cool. When did, I don't know. Look, you remember that one? Or no, you don't remember that one. You don't.
I
Astronaut
I may
Cat.
have missed that
I
one.
might have missed that one.
It's the second cat game, I know. So
Yeah. Third.
right. What was the other one?
You said another game with a cat.
Stray,
Yeah.
and then
Doesn't matter.
I don't know. Then they busted out the big guns, which was Horizon Forbidden West,
Yes.
the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn.
Now with underwater.
Now with underwater, which looked really good. I loved Zero Dawn.
You know what people love in games?
Underwater
Swimming levels. Swimming, yeah, underwater levels. That's
Could
what
be
every
good.
game is.
It's always good.
It's
Yeah,
always good.
Never.
Can't be bad, is what you're saying?
What I like to do is move about a third of the speed that I normally can in a game and have to worry about if I can breathe.
Yep, and don't forget when you want to go up and then you go down for some reason.
They're not gonna have breathing in there.
No, she had a scuba mask
Yeah,
on. They're gonna do it perfectly fine, but I'm 100% with Wombat. When you see the underwater, there's a part of you that pauses for a second because you're like, I don't know. It looks cool, but nobody's really pulled this off too well in the past. Ever.
Jungle Hunt did a good job. Thank you. And
It
then
looked fantastic though. That was the other one along with Ratchet and Clank. Like I didn't see some of the mature ones because, like I said, I was having to switch back and forth.
Right.
But Ratchet and Clank and Horizon, I thought were the two that showed the best next gen on a 1080p 30 frame per second.
You should watch the Resident Evil 8 trailer.
I will. I Resident Evil it seems like it relies on a lot of the same tricks that Gears of War does, and that everything is really close, and so that's how you get all the detail, which is great.
I was gonna say so.
No, it just isn't my. I haven't liked Resident Evil. I didn't like 4, so that's where I'm coming from.
No, then
And I know that's a me problem, but I never liked 4.
That was it. That's what they closed the presentation out. Then they revealed the console after they showed Horizon Forbidden West, and we went, wow. And that was it. Any other thoughts about the presentation?
It was fine. It was the closest thing we're gonna get to E3 this year.
Right.
I'm surprised that Xbox is waiting until what, August to do theirs. Is that the rumor?
What's the rush? Well, usually they
I thought it was July. I thought they had one next month.
Is it July?
Yeah, I think they were taking the month of June off and then going for July. I could be wrong on that, but
I will take your word for it.
All right, let's move on.
Sure. I feel like I would have loved to have seen some more features or something with the console.
An interface, perhaps.
Something like, I know that's not like what people want to see, like trailers and gameplay. I can only like, I like to have everything kind of mixed in together. Like I can only watch so many trailers back to back to back.
Like you would like, what if the presentation was literally someone walks onto the screen and they turn on the console and you got to see the console boot up and then they go into a game from there?
I think that's pretty powerful.
I know, I'm agreeing with you. I'm like, this is how I would do it. I think I agree with you, because you could see someone like turning it on. You could hear that sound, because I'm sure there's going to be a tone, some, boom, and then, screen, you go in, you get to see the layout, you get to see someone pick the game, you get to see the instant load times that they're touting.
Yeah.
There would have been something to that.
I did like that we didn't have to have like 15 minutes devoted to a game of just walking around in an environment while somebody played it.
Not yet.
Oh. But yeah, I thought it was a good presentation. They were very toned down. This is the most toned down Sony.
In what way?
In that maybe this is because I had some of it behind the screen, but they usually just have some torture porn basically going on in the screen.
Right. No arms got pulled out of sockets?
There
Nobody was beaten to death with their own body parts?
Was there even an embowelment?
No, I don't think so.
This embowelment?
Very subdued. There's hardly even video. I didn't even recognize.
I would like to
this
see
as
an
video.
embowelment where someone gets bowels put in.
I wouldn't put it past them on most years. That seems like something that we would have to painstakingly watch.
Right, guys. Disembowelments are so old school.
Like
that
was last gen.
Only
Last
with the
gen.
power of the PlayStation 5
Can you
we perform an embowelment.
We put the bowels back in.
Right. Oh boy. Let's move on. So I think we're done with Sony. I mean,
which one are you going to get? Are you going to get the one with the disc drive or the digital one?
Of course, the disc drive. Why wouldn't you? What are you going to save like $50 to not have options? Like it seems.
Just checking. I know you buy a lot of digital games, cheapies.
I do, but I want the option to get in on some sales or something.
He's gonna want to be able to watch his 4K Blu-rays.
I have an Xbox thing. I'm sure theirs gonna have it too.
Yeah.
Ugh.